what do you feel about today's lecture? So the floor is yours, inshallah.
Jazakallah khair, Sheikh, that was very informative. Sometimes it's the most basic things about our human personality that we tend to ignore because it became so mundane. Like it's a natural habit to forget about things that we don't focus on this anymore. But it's really good that you're bringing to notice.
Yes, and that was my khutbah last week. It will be my next khutbah, the second Jum'ah of this coming, inshallah, that we know the basics, but sometimes we do not connect it to our reality.
Yes.
We know the basics. We do. All of us know the basics. Basics of none of you will be a believer until you love for your brother or until you love for yourself. Where is that in your life? Among the goodness, it is out of the good characteristic of a Muslim to leave what if it's no concern to them. What is this in your reality? You know? Whoever believes in Allah and the hereafter, let him be good to his parents and be good to his kin. Where is that in your reality? Right? Helping others for that. So basics, we know the basics, right? We do basics. The real Muslim is the one that all Muslims are saved from their tongue and their actions. Where is that in your reality? So that's the idea of this year, you know? Basic idea. It is the most basic of ideas, but it is more of a mirror to see ourselves and evaluate.
That's right. It's very interesting. Like over time, we've just memorized Islam, not actually practiced it. And that's really good that we are about to change that, inshallah, with self-evaluation and evaluation of our relationships, inshallah.
Yeah, and inshallah, just try to find something that becomes special to you. I'll give you 2 examples. Like, for example, I made it a habit for a few years back that I shake hands with every child in the masjid. Like, whenever I see children, I shake their hands, as many as I can. And even they are not looking at me. I go, Assalamu alaikum, and what's your name? And they shake their hands. It doesn't take a couple of seconds, you know? But that shake of the hand, I know that child, if he continues coming to the masjid and I continue shaking his hand, I'm close to him when he grows up. So that's an example.
That's so true. I know. Right? You shook my son's hand. He tells everybody, I shook Sheikh Mamdou's hand.
Exactly. That's what I'm
Sheikh
saying.
is my friend.
Exactly. Here you go. That is what I'm looking for. That second sentence. Yeah. He's my friend. You know, he's saying that as an expression of a child, that this is friend means close, right? But when they grow up, oh, he's my sheikh, he's my mentor, you know, he's my uncle. That will develop. I'm not worried about that. But I'm telling you, that's what the Prophet used to do exactly. He will say salam to all the children in Medina. Those children, in 20 years, they're not children anymore. Yes?
Right.
So they feel welcomed in the masjid by the head, religious head of the masjid. And that's what I'm looking for. That's example number 1. That's example number 1, that you become so nice to the children. Example number 2, which is subtle a little bit, that I make adults welcome in the way I reply to their salam. I don't know if you noticed or not, but whenever somebody says assalamu alaikum, tell me assalamu alaikum. Somebody tell me assalamu alaikum. One of the sisters, go ahead, tell me assalamu alaikum, just for the sake of the experiment.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wallahi, that is wonderful. Jazakallah khair.
What did you notice in my reply?
Welcome, recognition, and happiness.
Passion, right?
Yes.
There's a passion. You are an important person. That's why I'm replying like that. You know? Now, if you tell me assalamu alaikum, I said, alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. Alaikum salam. What does that mean?
That's very nice. Thank you. Jazakallah khair.
But you see the difference?
Disappointing. Yeah.
The difference is you are important or not important just by replying to the salam. Sometimes we do things, it disheartens people without even feeling it. And sometimes you make people so happy, you make their day. Maybe that person is depressed for something. And when you reply salam like that and you look to them and say, how are you doing? All that, you made their day. You know? So it is.
You bring up a good point, because as women, we rarely greet each other with that much passion. And if you are the first person to say salam, I think the other ladies I've experienced are delighted. They get very excited about having a friend in the masjid.
Right. And they practice that with your husbands also.
And vice versa.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Wallah, I'm going to tell you something. I may say it in a khutbah one time and people will think I'm weird or something like that. I will say that every time your husband's leaving the house, embrace each other. Have a hug. I know it's kind of, people will think I'm weird, but do that. Why not? And when they come,
it's not weird.
I'm
Alhamdulillah.
Yes,
my mother-in-law, sorry to interrupt. My mother-in-law actually made that a rule in our family home. We had a joint family, and she said, before he comes, you have to get ready, washed up, dressed, and put on makeup and look nice. Welcome him with a smile, and before he leaves, give him a hug. So,
absolutely.
But it was strange because we didn't grow up like that in my house.
No, I grew like that. My mom will wait for my dad at the door, holding a glass of water or juice or something like that. When he comes and take off his shoes and stuff like that, she will greet him and she will give him like something to drink. She will take his bag from him and give him comfort. And then once he goes, changes and everything, food is ready, and like that. We make like relationship, physical relationship, intimacy means in the bedroom. That's the problem, That is a huge problem. This physical closeness and warmth does not have to be sexualized, especially between husband and wife, especially when they get old, right? They need each other. They need closeness and warmth. They need that. Allah made this halal for you to be that close together, So I am saying that this alone will change the community and will make lots of problems disappear. Trust me.
Now that it's only just a husband and wife, the children are all gone. You need it even more.
Right. Children don't want to talk to their parents. I know that some children will say, don't hug me, It's kind of like, what? Because they felt the dryness. Father is busy, mother is busy with the work, and father is busy with the work, or mother is busy with the chores and all of that. And every time a child comes close, stay, go. You take your laptop, go watch the TV. Then the kids, when they become teenagers, they don't want you anymore. They don't want your closeness anymore. Because when they needed it, you did not give it. Now, when you need it, they will not give it. Is that clear?
Yeah.
When they need that closeness, that hug, that kiss, I love you, and all of that, until they become teens, they need that all the time. When they become teens, you need that from them, because teen is rebellious. They want to run away. But because of all the love and the closeness you give them, they will give back to you when they become adults. But when it's dry like that, they run away. So you're right. Not only with your spouse, but with the children as well.
Sister Afsha did have a few other questions, which I felt like very good for the personality. The second challenge that you mentioned when it comes to, knowing your weaknesses in the masjid, when you're participating and you you have a vulnerability, how do you hide it? Am I correct in asking that question, Sister Afsha?
Yes, Mariam. Let me just rephrase that. It's not just in the masjid.
Okay.
I put the questions in the chat, Sheikh. You're welcome to see them if you want. But my concern was, sometimes there are people who are empaths, who are very sensitive to everything that's spoken around them. I happen to be one of them, and it can be a blessing. It's also a very hard to deal with. So what happens is, you express love and concern and so on to another human being, and you expose yourself, you expose your weaknesses, which someone can take it and turn it around and use it to hurt you. The question is, how do you protect your vulnerabilities?
Okay.
Now, when I talked about weakness and don't be shy to, have your weakness. I'm not saying go in the community and advertise it. No, you have to have close, trusted friends who will strengthen your vulnerability. So you work as a jama'ah, as a team, right? One sister has certain vulnerability, 5, 6 sisters around her do not have that vulnerability, so they work as a team together. You have a vulnerability in something, it should not be there in the jama'ah, in the community. But you have to admit it within yourself that I'm having that vulnerability. So I'm going to avoid the situations that will expose my vulnerability. It's the other way around, actually. And I am going to use the jama'ah to strengthen my vulnerability. You know what I mean? So I have a weakness in a certain area. I am going to use the jama'ah so that weakness is covered. So I'm not going to go and try to join programs that will expose my vulnerability and I appear weak. No, I am going to appear weak in front of trusted people, like therapy. Like I mentioned that actually. I said that as a therapist, you're going to talk about that. Don't be shy of your vulnerabilities, but I'm not in any way, shape, or form saying that you have to expose yourself in front of everybody, because some people, of course, will manipulate it and abuse it. No, don't do that. I have my vulnerability, but I'm not going to go tell people I have my vulnerability. I can share my mistakes, yes, for people to learn. I said, you know what? I did not pay attention to certain things also. Like my divorce, I was part responsible. I'm not going to say that it was the mistake of the other side only. So I'm going to say that to everybody. Divorce, two parties are wrong, regardless. You know, there is wrong 1%, maybe wrong 0.25%, and the other one is 99.9. But it's all shared because there are two people, right? There are two people there. One who did not work on the wrong, and the other one suffered because of that wrong. So both are wrong. Yeah. And the other one who suffered because of the wrong, they did not talk about it. They were patient. They did not handle it. They took the abuse without trying to fix it or getting out of it. That is wrong too. They're destroying themselves. But they're wrong by being there in a toxic relationship without trying to fix it. Or when they know that it is not going to be fixed and they stay in it. And that's what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say, face your weaknesses. Share it with those who are going to help you with it. And be careful of those who are going to manipulate it. But trying to justify it and saying, I don't have a problem, I am good, that is what I was talking about. Avoid. I hope I'm clear now.
Yes. Does make sense.
I just want to rephrase the question a little bit. I think I'm trying to find out, how do you pick a good friend? How do you distinguish between the characteristics of who's on?
Yeah. There are two things. There are two things you have to see first in anybody before you decide they are friends. Okay, but before the two things, you have to ask yourself, sister. You have to ask yourself, and this for everybody. What do I need from a friend to be a good friend? What do I need? You know, you ask yourself. Somebody says, I need a friend who is there for me regardless. Accept me for whoever I am, which I don't agree with that as a statement, by the way. Accept me for whoever I am means you do wrong and I have to be quiet. Well, that's what I don't agree with that statement. I'm just telling you. So you have to decide, what do you need from a friend? You say, oh, I need a friend in that job because that job is hard and I need a friend to help me. So that's not a friend. That's a coworker, a good coworker, you know? So a friend is the one that you can confide in, a one you can talk to without being shy or embarrassed. You decide first the list, Sister Afshin. Write your list first, because this is what you're going to be looking for. You want a friend to share secrets with. So what you want to look to the friend? Somebody who can keep secrets, right? And sometimes you have to experiment with something and see if it's going to be shared with others or not. You're going to put them to the test. So before you find the two things I'm going to tell you, you have to find out, what do you need from someone who you call a friend? Is this a friend or not? So how to distinguish between the characteristics. If you don't need the characteristics, it doesn't matter now. But you need certain things in a friend. Now you have to look for those things. Can he handle them or not? It's not because someone pretty or a lady who's a staff or is rich or a good listener, that means you can be your friend. You have to see, can they cater to what you need or not? And the other side, can you cater to what they need or not? Okay? So that is before you look at characteristics. You have to find what you need and then see the person who can give you that, keeping in mind that they have a list as well. You're going to cater to it or not. So friendship builds over time. It's not that you sit in a coffee shop and you become friends like kids, you know. This is my best friend, my BBF, bestest friend or whatever, you know. So I don't no, not like that. Friendship builds over years, by the way. Friends build over years. Friendship builds over years. And you keep eliminating people. You think 100 people are your friends. After a few years, you're going to come up with one only remaining. Trust me, only one. Only one. If you're lucky, you're going to have one after 5-6 years, right? But you cannot share your intimate things with a friend until he passes all or she passes all of these things over years. You try them, you find that they are, yeah, really, my confidant. You know, this is the person that I can get good advice from. I can talk to with trust. I know that they're going to give me the right thing. I know they're not going to let me down. I know that if I'm wrong, they're going to correct me. I know if I'm weak, they're going to strengthen me. If I'm down, that they're going to hold me and bring me up. That is a friend. So what we're looking for, their relationship to Allah, Azza wa Jal, that's number one. And number two, their ability to deal with others. Before you have to see how they function. You cannot find a good friend who have bad relationship with their families, bad relationship with the people, have an arrogant attitude, showing off with their cars and houses and all that. Cannot be good friends because they are distracted by showing off. This cannot be good friend. Can be a companion, yeah, someone in the circle, yeah. But when you're looking for a good friend who is going to help you to be better and will be there behind you if you're down, and you are there for them, they are there for you. They are not agreeing with you when you're wrong. They're boosting your morale when you are good and right, and you do the same to them. That's a good friend. And it takes years until you figure that person out. I know it's hard and tough. It is hard.
Can I just say that my husband is my best friend because look, he bought me.
Yes.
He bought me tea.
Yes.
I'm sitting here and he bought me this as well. I'm blessed.
But there are things, sure, as a woman, you want another woman to talk to about. Your husband will not relate. Because
every problem, I would go to a different friend, but I don't know if that's a good thing or not.
No, see now, different. I'm going to rephrase it to you, paraphrase it to you. You are going to different acquaintances as consultants and best on what they do. That does not dig them friend, because the word friend in America here, in the West, it is used loosely. You know? In Arab, the word sadiq from sidq, truth. You know? Yeah. Sadiq. Sadiq means the one who's truthful to you. Now you have sahib. Sahib means companion. Someone who's not having that friendship, but he is acquaintance. You know? Sahaba of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They are his students. They will defend him. They were everything. But Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, that is the Khalil. Khalil of the Prophet is like, you know, the one who is so close as a friend. One person only. One person only. Umar ibn Khattab competed, but he could not make it. You know, he said, I will never compete with Abu Bakr anymore. That's it. He is the person, right, the closest person to the Prophet. One person only. You know? So that is the real friend. But everybody else is good. It does not belittle them. It is not a lesser degree, by the way. It is more of a relationship. Yeah, it does not make your friend better than every human being. No. They may be actually less educated than many other people, right? They may be less in status than you, but they are that close to you spiritually, morally, you know, heart-wise. You feel that this is someone that makes you happy and comfortable. That is a true friend, which is your husband, maybe, yes, which is another sister. But when you go to different friends, we call them friends, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the real person that you can confide in, who is not going to expose your shortcomings and weakness, regardless of whatever you happen between you. You know, they will die before they expose you, even they disagree.
Wow, that's a big.
It's a big deal.
It is a big
I
deal.
have one person like that in my life since college. One person is like that, and I am his only one also.
Really?
You know, it is like that. Like, I can speak my mind. I can talk about anything in my life. I talk about the worst thing I done, and I will always find good advice.
Yeah, it's a blessing to have a good friend.
It's a blessing, yeah. So someone like that, who is, when you are down, you don't feel bad about yourself. Because someone will say, always the doors are open. Why did you do that? Find out why you did it. Avoid it. My advice to you is such and such. You know, I make dua for you. Inshallah, I will come over this. That is the true friend, inshallah.
Yeah.
Well, I have to stop here.
Yeah.
I have to stop here, inshallah. Okay. What time is it?
Sheikh Mamdou, if anybody else has any other questions, can we post them to you? Or would you...
Send it to me via WhatsApp and I will reply.
Okay, inshallah. Thank you very much.
Please type the questions. Question number 1, question number 2, question number 3. I will reply in the same order in the WhatsApp, and then you send it in the group, right? Send it in the group, because we have the admin group only, right?
Yes, we do.
And then you have another group, correct?
Yes, we have a group for conversation.
So bring those questions to the admin group. I will answer them in the same order. Inshallah, today I will answer them, and you post it to the sisters and make a log of those questions and answers, right?
Okay.
So it is printed in a document. So sisters, before they ask a question, they can read the previous questions and answers, like a bank, you know, question bank. So we do not repeat ourselves. We want to improve. So we ask the questions that was not asked before.
Sounds good. Yeah,
right.
I'll create one.
I enjoyed being in this class, and I hope you enjoyed it too. Anything I said that you benefit from is from Allah Azza wa Jal, subhanahu wa ta'ala, and I was only the means to deliver it. And anything bad I said or wrong or haram, it is from me and the shaitan, and I seek forgiveness of Allah Azza wa Jal from it. And I asked Allah to forgive me for what I said unintentionally that hurt anybody's feeling. And I wish you all the best. I pray to Allah Azza wa Jal to make you the best whoever you are, as spouses, as daughters, as sisters, as mothers-in-law, as grandmothers. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make you the best wherever you are and in all your situations. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi.